Hey, good morning. I'm Catherine Perry, and I'm your host here for the Daily One Command. Thank you so much for joining me. Before we get started, if you are watching by way of Facebook, the live stream in particular, if you're watching by way of Facebook, be sure and like the StreamYard app, and it's in the description, which may be here or even below. And when you do that, I'll be able to see your comments. If you're watching live on YouTube, I'll automatically see your comments. And I definitely want to see those. I want to see your comments and your questions and see how this is all landing with you. All right, so let's get started. This week has been about opening a space. And this started on Monday where I said, I'm just going to create a space for what you want. Let's just tune into that. And then yesterday we discussed what you need. And so if you notice, we're expanding our capacity by giving our attention to one, our feeling state, right? And then we're increasing our awareness. As we increase our awareness of our feeling space, but also of what we want to create, that expands our capacity to manifest. And the reason we need that is basically we have to have room to create, right? And we are creating what's called dynamic tension. But I don't want to talk too much about this. I really want to create more of an experience today. So today's one command session, again, is about creating space, but we want to open a space for specific outcome or resolution. It's very easy to say, well, I want more money, or 10,000 in my bank account. But if it feels unreal, and if your emotions are directed more towards avoiding the pain and being out of that fear of not having money, if you're hating your current situation more than you're loving and giving attention to the life that you want to create, you're going to stay stuck in that other reality that you don't want, that you're trying to command and wish and manifest, make affirmations firm and affirm for and visualize for. Your emotions are not going to match your intention, and those two have to match. So we're going to be talking about connecting our head and our heart today. So here's the lens. Even in stillness, there is movement. Sometimes it takes time for the molecules of change to shift form. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, transformation is taking place. So we just want to sit with that for a moment. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Jody. Happy you could join us today. So happy that you're here. And we're going to create some stillness. So think about a specific thing that you want or need. And go ahead, get really specific about it. Hey, good morning. Get really specific. So if you want a car, what is the car? And it's going to help your unconscious mind search for it. Now, I remember the first time when I was looking for a car and I had the money to buy it. This is many years ago. And I was pretty excited. And I spent weeks kind of driving around, looking at stuff and going, that's cool. I like that. But I never could see myself in any of those cars, even though they were perfectly nice cars. That's a clue. Okay. How are you seeing yourself in relationship to that what you want to manifest in your life? Okay. And what happened was I saw at the time Chevy Blazer, and I thought, oh, I like the lines of that. That looks good. And it just kind of caught my eye. And then guess what? When you like something, what does your beautiful reticular activating system do? It starts seeing it everywhere. Well, right now, you made me going, I want a richer life. And you may suddenly start looking around and seeing evidence of a richer life all around you, especially on social media. Oh my gosh. Everybody's in their beautiful villas. But but you may not see yourself in that space, right? But I saw that, and I suddenly it was just like, yeah, I like that. And there was a particular car dealership that I guess I'd swung by and walked around and looked at a couple of times. And one afternoon I was at work, it was around 4 o'clock, and it was like, boom, I need to go to that dealership today. I called my daughter and I said, listen, go ahead and get ready. I'm off of work at 6. We'll go out to eat, but we're going to go to the car dealership. And she said, okay. And it was just that clear. And when I went to the dealership, and the guy said, well, what are you looking for? And I was like, well, I don't know. I'm looking for an SUV, and I don't know if it's a Ford Explorer or a Blazer, but I want something like they said, no, we don't have any Fords, even if it was a Ford dealership. He said, but you know what? A Blazer came in this afternoon. And when they pulled it around, it was so beautiful. It was a used car, but it was new to me, and this was a big leap for me. And it was exactly what I wanted, and exactly my favorite color. And he said, "You wanna take a drive?" And I went, "Oh my gosh, I've got real long legs." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this fits. There's headroom. I feel like I'm really comfortable. I love how this is. It has all the features. I could see my daughter being in the car. There was a place for my dog. I knew I was gonna be moving soon, and that was the perfect kind of car, for the stuff I like to do." And I was like, "This is amazing." And I went ahead and made an offer on the car, and I got it. I got approved, and I drove the car home that night. And I can think back on different times where I got that when there was a decision point that the signal to move and take action happened. And what stops a lot of people is they'll decide that they want something, and they will kind of focus on it. But the conversation they're having is not, I want this, what's the next thing? It's, I want that, why can't I have that? Or I wish I could have that. I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, speaking of cars. I want a car, but I don't want the payments. I don't want this. I want to be able to do that, but I just don't want the payments. And I said, well, you want to not be in debt more than you want the car. Why don't you assume that when you get the car, the money will also be there? And she was like, that literally never occurred to me. And that's what we try to do with our ordinary thinking. We try to manipulate and make all these right conditions for it to arrive. And then we're trying to avoid the fear, the loss, the shame, right? And we're asking the wrong questions. And so today we want to create the space for the right question. So it would be, well, what do you want? One, what do you want? And how easy are you willing to make it happen? How easy? How easy are you ready to allow it to be? Instead of, why can't I have it? Why don't I go for it? Start switching those questions. Start having a new conversation. Now, in the Soulfully You program that I'm creating, and then start teaching many classes around, we're going to start talking about why are we having those kinds of limiting conversations with ourselves. We want to have a new conversation. And this is why when we started this, it was like, what do you want? And we spoke to ourselves and said, what do you want? And I want you to have it. And that's the first time we start opening up to what we really want. In fact, when you're picturing, visualizing, imagining what you want, you're doing affirmations in addition to your commands. Because I think we have to keep our mind trained and on track. because it's so easy to slip back and fall back into our old limited way of thinking. And so you would actually say, one, I don't know how I have my dream home. Jody's going, I want my own house. I don't know how I have my own home. Because you could get houses, but your own home, that's what you want in there, right? I have my own house so I can make my own home. I don't know how. I have my own house so I can make my own home. See how we're attaching this house so that it's attached to an emotional piece? Okay. Then might say, oh, you have your house. I see you having your house. I absolutely know, looking down, talking to yourself, I absolutely know you have your house. Jody, and I'm going to talk to the Jody and me. Practice with me. Thank you, Jody, who's in the comments. Jody, you have your house. I'm so delighted that you have your house now. Let's make a beautiful home. Yeah. Then you would say, Jody has her house. Jody has her house. So thank you, Jody, for letting me just grab you as a an example. Thank you so much. So what are you doing? I see that. I want that. You're giving yourself permission. You're giving yourself some evidence, and you're having conversations with yourself different ways. You're asking new questions, and we are absolutely using that. I can see myself in it. That is mine. And if you can't see yourself in the thing that you want to manifest, guess what you can do? The one command, because we have to train our mind and direct our mind. A lot of people, I was shocked to find out that people do not have internal conversations in their head, or that they can't picture or visualize, and their imagination is not rich and colorful like mine is. But at the same time, they have conversations, and you can develop your imagination. And that's a conversation for another day. Okay. But you could absolutely come and say, I don't know how to see myself living in my creation. So if you want to manifest money and you know, hey, my bills are $3,500 a month, by the ratio of the golden mean, which means 3 times that. Oh my gosh, now we have to do math. What is that? $10,500, right? So I don't know how I'm easily generating $10,500 a month in my income. I only know I have over $10,000 in my bank account now, and I am fulfilled. Now I'm going to demonstrate it again. Now you know how much. Your subconscious mind loves numbers. It loves the symbols, right? Numbers are symbols. It goes, yes, it can lock into that. Now I want you to turn down and say, I want you to have all the money that you need every month. And at the minimum, it's $10,500. And I know you're worried about your debt, so I want your debt to be paid off and eliminated. I want you to be financially free. And don't copy my script, copy the way, right? So I'm having this spontaneous conversation. I see you. I love you. I want you to have what you want. If this is Mary, who wants $10,500 income in her business, through her coming into her life, through her business or whatever means. Mary, I want you to have $10,500 a month or more coming into your account. Mary now has over $10,000 a month, $10,500 a month coming into her account. I have $10,500 a month coming into my account that I can absolutely count on. I can see it. I can feel it. I know it. I know. And then if you can't believe it, there's nothing wrong, because our mind asks for evidence. Here I'm teaching again. So think of a time that maybe you found money, that money just showed up. Think of a time that you might have gotten a bonus and tie that outcome to the future. That's another little piece. So once you get clear on what you want, you got to see yourself in it. You've got to have a new conversation with yourself about it, right? And have this conversation with yourself at different levels. And then if you run into a bump at any time of where you get pushback or disbelief, then that's when you would do the one command. Okay. And if there's anything in your particular skill set that's lacking, like the ability to visualize or imagine or even believe, you can command for that to arrive. Okay, so we're just dropping this information in. Watch this again in the replay. So now you have this information. Let's tune in and we're just going to be present. Okay, so we're just going to take a deep breath for a second. And we're going to come into this space of stillness. Just breathe in, putting your attention on your heart. Just as you're putting your attention on your heart, notice what happens. Now, you may notice constriction suddenly rise up, tears, or it may just feel flat. Just simply observe what is happening as you simply put your attention on your heart. Remember to breathe. We're going to hold just this one idea, and that's love. Love as you're focusing on your heart. Why? Love is one of the highest vibrations. We have to have a higher vibration in order to have enough energy to manifest. If you asked for something and the universe said yes, wouldn't you feel loved? Of course. If you said, hey, I would really like to go shopping, and they said, great, what time do you want to go? And they drove you. If you asked for someone to hold your hand, if someone just noticed that you needed your hand held, if someone just offered because they thought about you and said, it'd be fun to go shopping with you. Yeah. The universe is watching out for you too. It knows before you know. So let that knowing before knowing just come into that awareness. And right now there is a specific want or need. Money, health, your house, a relationship, a solution. And now just hold in this space of love, in knowing before knowing. Now hold this idea. Now just very softly, just put one hand on your heart and the other on where's our hand want to go? Right here on your forehead. And what we're doing is we are connecting your heart and your mind. Our words have power, and whatever it is that you are specifically claiming, not asking, wishing, or hoping. Nope, you are claiming, this is what I want. So in Jody's case, I want a new home. I want a new house. If you want a specific amount of money, I want, and say that amount of money. If you want a new car, say what kind of car. Maybe you don't know the exact model or year, but just go ahead and say new SUV or new sedan or new truck. Whatever that is. I want it. And I'm ready for it now. You can let your hands drop. And if you've got a free hand, I don't know how you're watching this, but at least one hand on your belly. And I absolutely know that I can have it. I will have it. And I do have everything I need now to make it a reality. That's just how it's coming in. I'm going to go with it. I have everything I need right now inside of me and outside of me. In my knowing and not knowing, what I want is here now. In my knowing and not knowing, what I want is here now. Just go ahead and let yourself just ground right into that. Just bring your attention to the earth. I'm not going to do any slides. Just stay with this. Gather up the earth energy. Start pulling that up into your body to support what it is you are specifically calling in. Bringing your attention to your heart as you are aligning to your desired outcome, as you're aligning to what you want. And now, in your mind's eye, picture, visualize, or imagine, or just assume that it is also aligning to you. That the object or the result is already aligning to you. And in your mind's eye, just accept and know that all the avenues are open. Very softly, eyes still closed, roll your eyes up. Picture, visualize, or imagine that you are traveling up a pole of light. The higher you go, the faster you go. And soon you find yourself surrounded by the velvety black void in space. Break through the darkness into the light, pure, open potential. Holding your object, your specific thing that you are commanding for in mind. I'm going to state the command and you're going to fill in the blank. I don't know how, and state what you want. I only know it is so now, and I am fulfilled. And then just let it go. Let your eyes relax. Let that expand out to an idea even greater that serves more good in its fulfillment. And the moment we're just going to start receiving in gratitude and appreciation. Oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. And all the signals, everything you need in order to make this a reality, including the courage, your intuition to get a message at a certain time to go to a certain place. Yeah. Be ready to say yes. And as you're saying yes right now to the house, the money, the car, the resolution, the relationship, the health, whatever it is, as this starts to unwind, your neurology, pardon me, I'm tumbling over my words here. As that's unwinding, hold fast this idea of what it is that you've just called forth being made more real. And what's also happening is everything's starting to rewind, align, and integrate. And before we open our eyes, I want you to tune back in to your heart. Say your name. And in case, like Jody, it is so. You now have your house. So say your name. It is so. You now have. And I bless you. Move yourself wherever you need to in consciousness that you can see yourself walking into your house or getting into your car or looking at your bank account or opening a check or looking at the scale or seeing the doctor's report or just seeing that face where you go, well, hello there. But see yourself and as the observer, watch that happening. Stay with it. Yep. Now be in your body and watch it happening to you. And then witness yourself in the future telling the story about how this happened and laughing. And people going, wow, I wish that would happen to me. It can. It will. And bring your attention back to your heart and this space deep within you. When you're ready, open your eyes. As soon as we're done with the call, if you can make some notes or even do a quick voice recording so you do not lose what you saw, get it written down. And then do what I did. That 7th step is inspired action, 4:00 in the afternoon. I went, oh, I need to go do this. And I didn't argue. I didn't overthink it. I just accepted it and went for it. And I drove home that night with my car. And there was no reason I should have been approved for the loan. I got approved because I literally had no credit. I'd paid for everything by cash for years. And I drove that car for years and loved it. It's going to be the same for you. Okay, let's stretch. Let's get back into this reality. Remember that right now, what's happening is everything that you created in the past is being completed. Okay? So speak right now is like everything I ever command, everything I think about is already manifested. And now, just like everything I created in the past is manifested today, everything I created today is, I'm absolutely know I'm going to see. That money's in my bank account. I have the key to the house. I got the key to the new car. The solution arrived and I was like, oh my gosh, you mean this thing I was worried about just disappeared, or a better, more elegant, better solution arrived than what I could have thought of myself? What? Amazing. And just celebrate it in advance and act as if it is true. Okay. Was this helpful today? Who enjoyed this? Be sure and let me know. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, tomorrow we're going to stay in this open space. And then what are we doing on Friday? Friday's Commanding Cashathon Day. So be sure and join me on Friday for Commanding Cashathon Day. And I'll be sending out an email if you're on my mailing list. And please be sure and let people know about this Commanding Cashathon Day. I have so much fun, and people are starting to give me some wonderful feedback. Okay, so you go have a fantastic week. And until next time, this is Catherine Perry, the Big Vision Coach, and I witness your mastery. Bye bye, everybody.